Coming up are my psychic predictions for 2018. I'm making these in September 2017. Now this is a short one. I've made lots of little segments in themes and I've put them all together as one long video if you'd like to watch that. So if you enjoy this one and you want to see the whole lot, I've put them on my website. Well, that's the best place to get to the YouTube, at psychics.co.uk. Alright, go to the website, you'll find the video there. Okay, those who watch my videos know that I'm UK based, you can tell by my accent. So here's now my predictions for the UK for 2018. Now in 2016, for my 2017 predictions made through the Sun newspaper, for example, or the Sun Online that was, I correctly predicted a Tory government. But I didn't really foresee the comeback of Jeremy Corbyn. That was kind of a mistake. So that's a wrong prediction from my point of view. But I got the party Tory wins. The main prediction at that time was that there would be a rise of a new political party made up of politicians from all other parties. Now that hasn't quite happened yet. But it has definitely suddenly become a bit more of a serious issue that's now in the newspapers. So I was seeing something, and we seem to have that in the news. So it's not all there yet, that prediction, but I think that's something that's on its way. And I believe that this will continue to become a news story, and that we will eventually see a new political party formed in the UK, and that will be a very powerful party that will take from both the Tories and the Liberals and the Labour. It'll be a mixture of politicians from all types of persuasions. So I spoke also, now last year I spoke about, I described a landmark going up in flames in London, and then I said, and I think that this landmark is the Houses of Parliament, because it was a tall building like Big Ben. But I was wrong about that. Big Ben didn't go up, it's still standing, everything's fine, but I saw that big fire in London, and I think the Big Ben was the symbol of London for me. This is how we kind of psychically see it, I believe. We kind of get bits of it. It's like dreams, you know, it's like symbolics in some ways. Well, anyway, there was, I don't know whether I could claim this as a right or not, but people have been saying they think it's what I saw. But there was a huge fire on a landmark building in the Grenfell Tower in London, and a lot of people commented on this blog, you know, on my other YouTubes and things, that this was probably the fire that I saw. You know, others have said that it could be just like a symbol, just as or maybe for the Westminster Bridge terrorist attacks, which happened at that point. But so there we go, and decide if you think it's right or wrong. I certainly did have this thing about seeing a fire in my mind last year and a tower, and it seemed an odd thing to predict, but it was such a terrible thing, that Grenfell. But anyway, so that's the predictions. Not a nice job doing these predictions sometimes, because you see and feel things that are not comfortable with. Anyway, the UK predictions for 2018. These are my psychic predictions for 2018. Okay, first one. There will be a hard Brexit, right? This will be pressed by because of Germany, and Europe will relent at the last moment. It will be a hard Brexit. It'll be taken right to the edge. We'll have they're going to be going into this with the feeling that we're coming out, boys. We're going to bail out here, you know. And then at the last minute, I think Germany intervenes and softens things a bit, and a trade deal's created, right? So it's not going to. I think it's going to be, the hand's going to be forced, because if they don't do it, it's going to go on forever, and it'll just get weaker and weaker and weaker. And I think there will be political pressure within the Tory party to have a hard Brexit. At the same time, I feel that that Juncker fella, Claude Juncker, loses face a lot, you know, and makes a retirement. Britain then will, I believe, make its own cross-border deal with Ireland, and that will be successful, and even though the EU object, I think that it's like Ireland say, look, either you let us do this deal and we make an exception, or we're probably going to be out too, you know. So there'll be pressure from Ireland and from the UK, and I think a compromise is eventually made there, all as part of this hastily put together Brexit strategy. So this is going to be happening in 2018. So this is prior to the actual Brexit date. So I feel that it's like we're bringing it forward in some respects. It's going to be really a tightrope for everybody. Now there will be, I feel that there's going to be 2018 in the UK is going to be year of strikes. These are going to be urged on by the Labour Party and Jeremy Corbyn in particular, who will be, you know, encouraging these strikes, seem to be. And I think he will lose a lot of credibility because of this. Some people think it's great and think, yes, we're going to change everything and we're going to all strike. But then others, I think, are going to turn away from him. The left-wing side of his nature is going to be shown a lot more. And I'm afraid strikes will be the result. So how much these disable the country, I don't know. But they certainly were a problem when I was younger, and I think will be a problem in 2018. I believe Theresa May will stay in power. I think there will be a lot of attempts to get rid of her in 2018. I don't think she'll make the full term of the Tory stay in power, but I feel that she's going to stay in there at least through 2018. I feel that generally the UK, I've mentioned this in my economic predictions, that UK will thrive economically. And despite Brexit, despite all the problems that are coming along at the moment, I feel that because there's going to be a lot of trade between Britain and America particularly, and Britain and Australia, and Britain and India, and Britain with basically what used to be the old empires of Britain, I feel that there's going to be a sort of a new spirit of enterprise in the UK like nobody's seen before, and particularly in high-tech markets. High-tech, we're going to lead the world in high tech. Now I also feel there's a lot of economic bits with this what I'm seeing here, but I feel a new car factory is going to be opened in the UK. It's going to be backed by government money and I think some American money, and it will carry the logo of a top brand. Now an old brand perhaps that's been rebought again, or I saw wings on it, so I thought maybe that could be the Aston Martin. Could it be? Would I be right? Perhaps could Aston Martin maybe make a people's car, you know? So of course they're the top of the range car, but maybe they could make something like electric car of some sort for the mass market, something that challenges Volkswagen, right? I see many high-tech companies in Britain. 2018 for Britain is going to be a time of high-tech stuff. It will lead the world in innovation, and I feel a lot of new inventions next year, a lot of new medical breakthroughs, a lot of advances coming from British universities, and I feel in particular there's a new form of energy production will be discovered in 2018. Now that's not going to be cold fusion or something like that, but there's some way that we get energy from something new, and a completely new way of getting energy, which will be kind of the start of something major. That energy, if we change energy production in the world, we can change everything. We had unlimited energy, but we're not quite there yet, but something I feel happens in 2018. I think Prince Harry will announce his engagement, right? So that's what's going to happen, I feel, next year. I've talked about the new political party, that's on my list here too. So the new political party will be formed. I sort of already mentioned this before, but it will happen, I feel, in 2018. I said that first in 2016, so let's hope. If not, I'm wrong. And there will be some terrorist attacks, I'm afraid, again. Now, I had this. A lot of my predictions sometimes come through dreams, and then I write them down and gradually put them together and say them now. But this one came a little while ago, and I felt it was for 2018. Now, I dreamed I was in a motorway pile-up. Well, not pile-up, a congestion. Everything had stopped. All of a sudden, all the traffic stopped, and there was something ahead. It looked like an accident of some sort, and I saw gunmen going and shooting in all the cars. Right. So why would I dream anything like that? You know, I haven't had anything that should give me any bad dreams or anything, or illnesses starting or anything like that. There was something just came out of nowhere. So I put in that as one of my predictions. Something about a motorway with a gunman and a deliberate traffic accident on a motorway, and then a gunman comes in on top of that. Hope it don't happen. Hope I'm completely wrong. And one last thing, I'm just on the going back to economics again, because I think it's going to be an economics. All the news next year in 2018 is going to be dominated by economics, in terms of British politics. And I feel that one of the British Airlines is going to go bust. The British, and there'll be a lot of changes. Although I see the British economy doing extremely well, I think some of the bigger companies we might see some shakiness. But overall, a good economic time. So again, like I've said before, I kind of like to have a think about, you know, what sort of remedy is there for all these things. What could we do? What in terms of our consciousness, you know, because the whole theme's been about consciousness now. So when someone like me makes a prophecy, we sometimes see things about to happen in the future and get the sort of general feel of what might happen, right, but not always get all of it, you know. And I have to say, that's is where the unconscious mind impresses something into the medium's consciousness, and it can sometimes be in an exaggerated form, you know. So that's why, and these things work in a similar way to dreams that use sort of like allegory, symbolism, metaphor, and exaggeration to express a point on the conscious mind. So this isn't kind of an excuse, it's just the way it works, and it applies as much to me as to Nostradamus, John Dee, Edgar Cayce, or anyone else who gives a prophecy. We're working with that intuition, that unconscious mind. So when you hear sort of like predictions that may be worrying, remember that the psychic's unconscious mind may get things sort of right, but they may be sort of painting a blacker picture than what will really happen. And that applies to all the predictions I've made, you know, prior to this one and the ones that are going to come again. Because I really do believe that the times we're going through now and in the near future are actually a prelude to a beginning of a better age, as I've said already. And when people of good character rule the world and individuals attain a higher level of consciousness, and then with that higher level of consciousness, that higher level of understanding and compassion, then the golden age that I talk about will be with us. And it's happening now, you know. And but you know, that's how it works. I think other mediums get this, might have the same feeling, that there is something on the horizon, something good on the horizon, and it's written in some of the prophecies from the East, and that gives me a lot of reassurance that my intuitive feeling about these things is right. Is the future set, or can we change it? In my new book, I take a mystical journey to India to do magical remedies that will change my personal destiny. I open a 5,000-year-old secret oracle that tells about what will happen in the future. I meet strange Siddha yogis with miraculous powers who show me how to eradicate the karma that drives events. What I discover changes everything. We can all change our destiny, and maybe together we can change the future of the world as well. Start making that change. My new book, Mystic Journey to India, that has now been made into a major international documentary series, is now available on Amazon.